Hi, this is me, anonymously. This is the first of its kind series where I share a portion of my life unedited. For me to be able to do this, I have to stay anonymous, and I will also unfortunately have to keep the names of everyone involved in the story also anonymous. I decided to do this partly for myself so that I can finally tell my story truthfully and accurately. The other reason is I want to possibly and hopefully help someone who's in a similar situation. My story is like so many other people's stories. I was young, I was partying my face off, I met a girl, we fell in love, we got married, and then it all fell apart. I'm hoping to show anyone listening that even though everything fell apart as badly as it did, that there is still a light at the end of the tunnel, if you can get there. At this point, I still haven't gotten to the light at the end of my tunnel, but I think I can see it off in the distance. With that being said, hi, this is me, anonymously. So we're going to pick up the story where I left off, and I have just flown home from Los Angeles. I ended up getting one of the jobs in Los Angeles that I wanted, and I was trying to figure out where I was going to live and how I was going to make the move there. For the next 4 months, myself and Marla spent almost every single night on the phone talking from anywhere between 10 minutes and many hours. There were a couple of nights I ended up actually being on the phone with her so long I watched the sun come up. We mostly spoke at night because of the way cell phones worked back then. You had to pay per minute, or you had to wait until 8 or 9 p.m., I think, to talk on the phone for free. So during the days, I would go to work, and then at night you could find me at 1 or 2 of 3 different bars. So either after the bar or after work, she and I would spend hours talking on the phone together. Now, I won't see her again until January of 2002, and let's be honest, at that point we weren't technically dating. To my knowledge, she was seeing other people and doing whatever she wanted to do, and I definitely was seeing other people and doing whatever I wanted to do. I remember one night I was on the phone with her outside of my favorite bar. While I was on the phone with her, some random guy walks up, grabs my phone, closes it, and throws my phone on the table. I turn around, I look at the guy, and I was very clear not to do it again. I ended up calling Marla back, and mid-conversation, the guy walks over, he grabs my phone, closes it, and throws it on the table again. At this point, I stand up, I push him, and I'm ready to escalate this as far as it needs to go, but the bouncers at the bar got in between us and had him leave, and as far as I knew, everything was fine at that point. Then, the gentleman walks over behind me for a third time, hangs up the phone, throws it on the table. I stand up, I spin around, and without saying a word, I punch him. We get into it and the bouncers break us up, and then I had to quickly leave the bar before the police got there. On another occasion, I was with my ex-girlfriend at the time at her house doing things I shouldn't have been doing because she was crazy as hell. My phone rang and I saw it was Marla. I would have much rather sat on the phone with Marla than do what I was doing, so I got out of bed and I went and sat in the living room for a few minutes talking on the phone with Marla. My ex then walks into the room, obviously pretty mad that I had just gotten up from our fellatio, and I ended up in an argument with her, which I didn't care, and I left. To be honest, I don't remember what Marla and I would talk about, but I had never connected with someone that way before. Of course, I was pretty young. I think I may have been 21 or 22 at the time. And let's be honest, I didn't really try to have any deep conversations with women. She literally ticked every box that I was looking for, or at least I felt like she did over the phone. I slowly came to realize that me moving to Los Angeles was never going to happen, since I had no idea how to save money, and I was spending it all on partying and drinking at the bars. I was really trying at the time to grow up and mature, but I guess I was just not ready for it yet. So, with that being said, I basically came to the conclusion that I was never going to see her again. And that was kind of it. So getting into the end of 2001, Blanche, who I knew from the city I was living in at the time, decided that she and Marla would fly from Los Angeles to where I lived for my birthday. I can't even explain how excited I was that I was going to see this woman in person again, and I was absolutely petrified to see this woman again. We both felt the same way and had the same fears because we had shared some really intimate thoughts about ourselves, the world, and things that, happened to us, not really thinking that we would ever see each other again. But the universe had other plans, and Marla and Blanche were on their way. And I don't know at that time in my life that I had ever been more excited and more nervous about anything.